Do you have a recommended process flow or steps to contact, screen, and qualify a new lead? For example, on a web form lead, do you call back within 1 minute? Is 10 minutes okay? And what technology is best to help? How many contact attempts should we make? Good question.
Well, thanks for that question, Scott. That's awesome. So guys, you know the answer, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're not responding in the first 1 to 2 minutes of a web lead, your chances of even getting in touch with that claimant will diminish significantly. Now, you might say, come on, Gary, 1 to 2 minutes. I mean, who has the staff for that? Well, if you're getting web leads, you better have the staff for that, because intake is required. You need to be able, and it's not just during the day. I just spoke with a law firm that outsources their inbound phone calls to a call center on the nights and weekends, and then doesn't call back until Monday. 15 years ago, you could be sitting, have your own solo practice, get a phone call while you're at dinner with your spouse with a new lead, and you tell them, hey, this looks like a good case. Can I call you back on Monday morning and talk about it? And 15 years ago, there's probably a good chance that they'll wait for you Monday morning. That won't happen anymore. There are too many options, immediate options, where claimants can get signed on the first call, which, by the way, you should be offering to your claimants technologically. But to answer the question, yeah, it's got to be within the first 1 to 2 minutes. 10 minutes is not okay, but that doesn't mean you don't call, right? You got to call no matter what. Some people say, Gary, should I call at 3:30 in the morning when they submitted a lead at 3:30 in the morning? I would tell you probably not, but I respect it if you do, because they're up and they submitted that lead. And I've been that person who did it for a law firm, 10 or so years ago. To answer the next question, technology. You guys should know there's plenty of CRMs and software out there, whether you're going to go intake, the route of intake, and a company like Captora, or you're going to go down the route of a complete CRM that also has intake. You just have to make sure that CRM has a follow-up schedule within that system, whereby it tells you, and you can manipulate it, when you want the calls to happen. When do you want the second call to be made? What happens if it qualifies? When should that call be made? Something else here is, for a new lead, you should be calling and texting twice on the first day and twice on the second day. And don't give up after day 2. I like to give this silly, although dire analogy, that if you had a friend who's going through a serious gambling problem, right, and they asked you for help, and then you call them a couple of times and they're not picking up the phone, it's not because they got over the problem, right? They might be doing something else, but it's up to you to keep following back up with them, to let them know that you can help them with that issue. It's the same thing with someone who's been injured, right? Just because they're not picking up your first 3 or 4 or 5 phone calls, I promise you they didn't get better in 3 or 4 or 5 days. They either found another law firm, or they're prioritizing something else that's really seriously happening in their life, like their kid is sick or their mom needs to go to the hospital. So please, guys, the timing and how long you follow up with these claimants is so important to ensuring that you're maximizing not only your intake skills, but also your revenue at the end of the day.